Let me know if you are here by hitting the thumbs up. Awesome. Okay, we are live, and I am thrilled to be here with you. Let me know you are here. Terrific. All right, if you are here with me, definitely put a thumbs up, and also you can, oh, I got a thumbs up. Yay, I'm thrilled. Today we're going to be talking all about Thanksgiving, one of my absolute favorite holidays, and I'll be looking for your comments to see what you're doing for Thanksgiving, and if you're going out for Thanksgiving, if you're going to a restaurant, if you're having it at home, or if you're having guests, or if you're going to somebody else's house, because it all plays a role in Thanksgiving. And it's a great opportunity. One of the things I share with patients, and we're early, but I just want to share with anybody who happens to be watching me today on the live stream. This is something I shared with patients a few weeks ago, and it seemed to have resonated. And so I want to share with you two stories because we have a few minutes before the live stream, and I just wanted to make our time count. So, I got two thumbs up. So, yay. I am thrilled you're here because you'll be part of this, and you'll let me know if this will resonate with you. But this is really, I think, there's two things that you need to resolve before the holiday season begins. And that is this. Let me know if you can see this. That this is, on one side of the line is ambivalence. On the other side of the line is commitment. That ambivalence is that state where you know you should be eating healthy, but you're not sure you want to. That's the famous dish that Aunt Millie only makes on Thanksgiving, and I got to have that. Or I'm already full, but I just want to keep eating and figure that out. Why is that? And on the other side of it is commitment, that I have made a decision to enjoy certain foods or not to have certain foods, and I'm going to stick with that plan because because that's more important for me and it will help me to navigate the holiday season. So really decide which side of the equation you're on, whether you're ambivalent right now or you're at the commitment side, and make sure that you take the time to resolve that, because that will make a huge difference for you as you go through the holiday season. And you want to enjoy this holiday season without any guilt. I keep looking at the clock because I want to make sure that that we start on time and that I don't keep talking to you, which I can, as anybody knows me, can do, and then miss the official start, which is at 7:00. And the other thing that you need, since I do have one more minute, is resiliency. So we're going to talk about those two things during this live stream. We're going to talk about recipe ideas and how to navigate this holiday. So let me know. Boo, how are you? Yay, I'm so happy you're here. And I'm going to guess that you go to your folks for Thanksgiving. Let me know. And it's 7:00. So Thanksgiving, everybody. Welcome to the live stream of Dishing with the Dietitian. Today, we're going to talk about one of my favorite holidays, which is Thanksgiving. The reason why Thanksgiving for me is such a wonderful holiday is because it's really just about being together. There's no other agenda except for to enjoy some delicious food. And so the discussion becomes, how do you enjoy this delicious food without sabotaging your goals or without feeling the angst or the guilt? Hi, Rosemary. How are you? You have 25 at your house. That is so much fun. I totally love it. So while Thanksgiving, it seems like we got an extra week, that it's more towards the end of the month this year. It also is a great opportunity to plan. And you need to pre-plan, particularly if you're having 25 at your house, and you need to think about the dishes that you're going to serve. Let me know if any of you are going to somebody else's house. Rosemary, I'm in the same boat with you, that we have a big crowd every year on Thanksgiving. My family is all over the country, and they know that no matter where they are or what they're doing, that they always plan Thanksgiving is at my house, because it's just a wonderful, special time to really have us all together and to just reunite, and with no other purpose, which is just wonderful. That is why it's my favorite holiday. So let me show you how to navigate this holiday without any angst, without any guilt, and without sabotaging your goals. So what I started to show before the live stream began was, this is something I've shared before with my patients at Mass General, and they told me what a profound difference it has made for them as they're trying to reach their goals. So I'm hoping that perhaps it will resonate with you. You will let me know. And that is, I was just showing this sheet that I have, and I write this on the board at Mass General, that on one side of the equation is ambivalence, and on the other side is commitment. When you're ambivalent, it means that you are unsure, that you are thinking you should eat one way or do something, but you really want it, and you're afraid, it's probably not the right thing to do. And so you're just unsure which way to go, and you probably end up eating whatever it is anyway. And now with guilt and remorse, and then you eat more to help feed that. On the other side of the equation is commitment. So let me be clear in this case, when you navigate a holiday, what I mean by commitment. Commitment in this case would be to set a realistic goal, that you know what your goals are, but you make a realistic roadmap, that you decide it's not Thanksgiving for you unless you have what, and fill in that blank. And if it is Aunt Millie's pecan pie or Sally's bread stuffing, whatever it is, then if you make the decision that you want to have that, then it's really important for you to have it. It's also important for you to make sure to enjoy it. As long as, if you don't feel the guilt, then you will know that this is a finite period of time, that this is Thanksgiving, not Thanksgiving weekend, not Thanksgiving week. And once Thanksgiving is over, it's over. Then you go back on track. It's about resiliency. My other favorite story that I tell all the time, and I'm doing this solo tonight. Typically, if I was to tell this story, frankly, I don't know if any of you out there have kids, but my daughter would be sitting here rolling her eyes because she's heard this story so many times. But it happens to be one of my favorite. I have shared it with you before, but it bears repeating. That this is a true story. The story is of an African-American skier who was the first African-American to make the Paralympic ski team. So you can only imagine the pride that she had, both in herself and also that her family shared in her accomplishments. And when she went down at the Olympics, the first run, to her great thrill and surprise, she was in first place. Can you even imagine being at the Olympics? You're in the Olympics? I mean, I can't even imagine. But here she is in the Paralympics. Unbelievable. And she's in first place. Now, for a skier to medal, they have to do the same route twice, the same run twice. But the run is never the same because now the conditions are not the same. First of all, you've already skied down it, and many others have already skied down it. But while she's at the top, getting ready to go down for her second run, she can hear that they're calling up at the top of the mountain, and they're saying that all these skiers that are going for her, that they're all falling, that now the conditions are quite treacherous, very icy, and they're all falling. Now, she has one leg, so you can only imagine her concern and her fear, yet nonetheless, she's at the Olympics, one more run, and she medals, and so she has to go. And when it came her turn, to her thrill again, she's doing great. She's just crushing it, as my kids say. And she looks up and she sees the goalpost and the finish line. And she says, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited." But when she looks up and she's looking at the finish line, she forgot to keep her eyes on where she was going and on the terrain in front of her. And lo and behold, down she goes. And she is so frustrated with herself. She is really mad. And she starts yelling at herself. "What is the matter with you? How could you come so far? And now you take the eye off the prize, you jump the gun, and you totally blew it. And here you are on the ground. This is just not at all what you trained for. It's not at all what you envisioned. This is not at all what you planned." And finally, after yelling herself and giving herself a good scolding, she said, you know something, you have to get up, you got to pull it together, and you got to cross that finish line. So eventually she pulls herself up and she crosses the finish line. She actually ended up with a bronze medal. When she talked to the silver gold medalists and she asked them about their experiences on the run, they both had fallen. Everyone had fallen. The difference was the gold and silver medalists got up quicker. So it's not whether you fall. It's not whether you include a food that you shouldn't or you know is not consistent with your goals. It's how quickly you get up. So have it on Thanksgiving, but then have Thanksgiving be the end of that run. The next day, you're going to load up on vegetables and fill up on fiber and get right back on track, and you're going to be completely and totally fine. Other tips that you can do to make sure that you have the holiday that you were hoping to have is to think about after the fact. In 5 seconds, you're going to swallow. At the end of the day, it's going to be over. How are you going to feel? Are you going to have had the experience you were hoping to have, or are you going to wish you had done things different? Don't wish you did things different. Pre-plan now so that you have a roadmap that will be realistic and consistent with your goals. It's not about perfection. It's about making peace, about resolving that ambivalence so that you don't have to keep eating to comfort yourself and to stuff those feelings. Look at the video that I have on Dietitian with a Dietitian on the role of sugar and weight, because that will tell you what I'm talking about for the rise in dopamine that we eat to help medicate ourselves or comfort ourselves, and really what you end up with a couple of problems. So always think about down the road, how are you going to feel? I always say that when you ask any kid, would you rather stay home and study or go out with your friends? Well, what almost every child is going to say, I'd rather, I'll see you later. I'm going out with my friends. But they stay home to study if they know that staying home and study will get them a better grade, which might get them into a better school, which might get them a better job. So always think about down the road. 3 seconds you're going to swallow. How are you going to feel? So let's put some guidelines in to help you to have the happy Thanksgiving that you want, because after all, the only thing that should be really stuffed is the turkey. And I've got to tell you, I don't even stuff that. So here we go. And they keep coming back. So I must be doing something right. Pre-plan your meal. For somebody like Rosemary and somebody like myself, think about appetizers. And let me know if this is the same in your house. I don't, you know something, I'm going to back up for a minute. Before appetizers comes breakfast. Let me know, what time do you all get together at Thanksgiving? For me, it's late afternoon because I'm working around kids' naps, and usually they wake up around 3 or 4, and so we don't get together till after the kids are well rested. But let me know what your schedule is. For us, make sure that if you're not meeting till later in the day, just like it is in my house, that you do have breakfast. Don't think you get together at 1, Rosemary. So still for you, have breakfast. Many people think I'm not going to eat because I'm going to have this big meal, so I'm going to save myself for then. It's exactly what you don't want to do. During the dawn hours of the morning, we secrete hormones that block the actions of insulin. So you're going to have a high insulin level that's going to lead to inflammation. You need to eat to cut those hormones. So that's whether you're diabetic or not, all of us. This is a natural process in life. So make sure that you eat breakfast. You also have a demand for protein at breakfast, at lunch, and at dinner. So if you don't eat the protein, the demand is there, the need will be met, and you'll go into negative balance. So make sure that you have a breakfast, and in that breakfast, there is some protein. It could be in the form of yogurt. It could be in the form of milk. It could be in the form of eggs, cottage cheese, low-fat cheese. It could be in the form of a complemented protein, like whole grain toast and peanut butter or PB2. Whatever works for you. This is Thanksgiving. This is about fun. If oatmeal is a breakfast for you, make it with milk instead of with water, and that will give you the protein. Just heat the milk in the microwave or in a pot and add that to the oatmeal instead of having hot water, and you will have delicious, really creamy oatmeal. Something my son does, by the way, every morning. And then add some fruit. Breakfast is also an opportunity to start your day with fiber. And if you don't remember anything, everybody's going to know fiber is your friend. So add some fruit to your breakfast. If you're making an omelet, add some veggies. this is the time to really enjoy and indulge. You can take the time because it's Thanksgiving. We're not in such a rush, except for Rosemary, who has guests coming at 1 o'clock. But make sure you have breakfast. It could be just yogurt and fruit, and that would work. Then pre-plan your meal. Also, make sure that you take the time for exercise. It's a great opportunity to get you in that right frame of mind. Let me know if this is you. When you exercise, doesn't it changes everything? Sometimes you don't really want to eat that much because you've exercised. You're really aware of your body. And it just makes you feel better. It gives you more energy. Let me know if that happens with you. I always find that if I exercise, it reduces the stress. It gave me a time where I took a time out just for me, and it gives you a little skip in your step. You've got that extra energy because you exercise, and that totally feels good. I also don't want you, this is not a time for sweatpants. This is a time for tight fitting clothes because you've got to be mindful of your body and how you look and what you're wearing. This is about doing everything you can to heighten your awareness. And as you're heightening your awareness, you also recognize that oftentimes getting together with family or getting together with friends during a holiday can conjure up a lot of memories, a lot of issues, and emotional struggles perhaps, or concerns. So make sure that you don't turn to food to stuff those, that you take this time right now that we have it before Thanksgiving to address those issues so that you can start to resolve ambivalence around those feelings as well. If not, you're going to be talking to Aunt Sally and she's going to be driving you nutty, and just to block her out or to keep yourself busy and occupied, you're going to keep putting your hand in the dish of nuts or the candy bowl, and you're going to not really realize what you're eating. This is about being mindful. This is about being present in the moment and about being grateful. For any of you who've had any health issues during the year, this is about celebrating the fact that you got a mulligan, that you're here. How awesome is that? My mother used to tell me every day you wake up, it's a great day, because you woke up. How could it be bad? And this is about reminding yourself of that, about reminding yourself of all the things that we're so grateful for and so happy to be able to celebrate. That's why Thanksgiving is so incredible. But think about when you're pre-planning your meal, what appetizers are you going to include? And make sure you include these side trips to a candy bowl, to a nut bowl. What is it that you've got to have? Now, let me know if you're hosting or if you've been to other parties, if you've noticed that people, don't eat as much as they did in years past. And also, if you give people a lot for appetizers, then the hard work that you put into making a meal, people are no longer hungry. And there is, for me, let me know, Rosemary, if this has happened to you, that this is nothing more frustrating than that. So I can tell you that what I have done in the past couple of years is I've completely changed course, that I hardly have any appetizers whatsoever. I used to have big platters. They are out. They are gone. I'm saving room for dinner. I want them to eat the meal. So one thing I've done is I go around to everybody who comes to my house and I say, it's not Thanksgiving for you unless we have what? And everybody gets to tell me what their favorite dish is, and I always try to honor those dishes. So one thing that my family insists upon is cocktail shrimp. So that will never go because that is part of it. You have cocktail hour before dinner. Yeah, so we do too. But the difference is I serve maybe one, and if I'm feeling so inclined, I might put out two things. So I will put out cocktail shrimp and have them be happy and be done. If I want to, I might make a faye dip. So I'm going to tell you how I make my faye dip because it's completely delicious. You can do this dip. You can serve it in one of two ways. If any of you who are watching the live stream happen to be coming in to Mass General on Friday, you will be getting this dip. And I think it is delicious, but you'll let me know. I take the Faye 0% Greek yogurt. It tastes exactly like sour cream. Now, I'm going to tell you that I had a patient who came through Mass General's cardiac rehab program, and they said that they always make a dip this certain dip that they make for Thanksgiving every year. Because of their heart event, they decided to make a dip. I told them how Fayet tastes exactly like sour cream. So they took the Fayet Zero and they made their own version of a dip. When their guests came in, they saw the dip as they always do, but then they saw this new dip and they started to dig into the new dip. And he said, "What are you people doing? Get out of there. That's mine." But they actually liked it better. So food can taste good and be good for you. It is not an oxymoron. So let me share with you my recipe for how I make a Greek yogurt, a dip using the Greek Fayet Zero. I get the zero and I take a microplane zester and I grate 2 cloves of garlic in it. So you get the zest and the juice of garlic without it being too harsh and overbearing. I add a half a cup of Italian dressing as well as a half a cup of mayonnaise. I also take a tablespoon each of onion powder and garlic salt. If this interests you, I can put this up on the Facebook page. And also a teaspoon of garlic salt. So a tablespoon of onion powder and garlic powder, a teaspoon of garlic salt, and then some thinly sliced chives and scallions. Mix it all together, and it's incredible. It's totally incredible. Now, if you were serving this as a dip, you could take some vegetables, some crudité, put some carrots and celery and cucumbers, red peppers. Delicious. If you wanted to have some tortilla chips, take a whole wheat pocket bread. I've done this on the Party on the Deck, I believe, or easy appetizers. I will post, Rosemary. It's delicious. Take this whole wheat pocket bread. I use Joseph's. It's about 45 to 60 calories, depending on what size pocket bread you get. And take a scissors and cut in between. So instead of one pocket bread, you have 2 flat rounds. Take it, cut it in half, and keep cutting it into triangles till you have about 16 triangles, and put this in your oven for about 3 minutes at 350. When it comes out, take the spray butter. I can't believe it's not butter spray, and also Olivio butter spray. Either one will work. And spray butter. It's a vehicle for Trader Joe's everything but the bagel sesame seasoning. Now sprinkle the seasoning lightly because too much will taste too salty. So just lightly sprinkle it on, and the spray butter will act as a glue for that seasoning. Now you can have 16 tortilla chips for 60 calories. You cannot beat that, and it's a source of whole grain. If that works for you, fabulous. If you've got 100 people coming to your house and you're just not going to take the time to do that, I completely understand. But if you're getting a whole wheat tortilla chip, make sure it says the word whole. If it's a corn tortilla chip, it has to say whole corn. And these words whole have to be first on the ingredient list to know you're getting an appreciable serving of whole grain. You can definitely make the dip a couple of days in advance. I think it would probably only get better as the flavors continue to marry. So I think that'd be a great thing to do ahead of time, and it'd be yummy. I think your guests would love it. One other way that you can use this dip is you can scrub some small baby potatoes and toast them in the oven, toss them with a little olive oil and garlic salt and roast them in the oven, 350 for about 20 minutes till you can pierce them with a fork. When they come out, you'll cut the ends off of each and you'll stand it up on its side and swirl it out a little bit, that loosen the inside. And you could do spray butter, or you could do a margarine, a spread, like I can't believe it's not butter, the spread, or Brummel and Brown, or Olivio, or Smart Balance. They're all good. And you could put a little butter in it and then top it with this. You could make a potato bar, actually, with the Fayet, with caramelized onions, with caramelized shallots, with scallions and chives, and people could make their own. I think that would be a ball. What do you think? So let me know if that sounds good for you. What about the chips? You could make the chips maybe a day in advance, Rosemary. I just don't want them to get soggy. I'd put them in an airtight container, and you probably would be all right. Just you might want to do it practice that now. Do it ahead of time. Don't eat them for a day or two and see if it works. I've never made them in advance, but my guess is they should be all right as long as it's in an airtight container. But they are delicious. Oh, I'm so glad, JMK, that 243, that you think that sounds great. It is. It's completely delicious. So we could have that. Now let's go on to dinner. Definitely have your turkey, but be mindful. If you can, where is the fat in the turkey? Naturally, it's in the skin and it's in the fattier parts of the turkey, which is the dark meat. So preferably you go to white meat and take the skin off. But if not, it's Thanksgiving, go ahead and have it. But just be mindful of your portion size. You're going to rate your plate. You're going to have the size of your fist, that protein, and you're going to, you love the live streams. That's great. Well, I'm so thrilled to have you here. And let me know, other people, if you are enjoying the live stream with the thumbs up. That lets me know that you are. For those of you, by the way, let me take this time to pause and introduce myself. If you're new to live stream, my name is Debbie Kravitsky. I've been a registered dietitian for over 30 years. Currently, I'm a clinical dietitian at the Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Center at Massachusetts General Hospital. I have consulted with many companies. I have a private practice. I've appeared in television as well as in national publications such as Harper's Bazaar and Family Circle. I've also contributed to a book written about heart disease called Facing Heart Disease with cardiologists from Mass General. And it gives me my greatest joy and pleasure to help you reach your dietary goals by providing current, accurate, evidence-based nutrition information. Together, we will shop, we'll cook, and I will navigate the way. So welcome to those of you who are new to the live stream. I'm so thrilled. If you haven't yet done so, please hit the subscribe button. That will allow me to continue to do this. Make sure as you pre-plan that you pre-plan also your seating arrangements, that you're heightening your awareness. If you're sitting in front of a bowl of mashed potatoes, it's just too easy to pick. This is about being mindful and being in control. So make sure you move you or you move the potatoes. Don't sit in front of a candy jar for the same reason. Move you or move it. But as we were talking about, load your plate. Half of your plate will be filled with vegetables. If you're going someplace and you're not sure, what are they going to have? Is everything going to be in a sauce or candied or canned? Then maybe bring roasted vegetables or sauteed string beans. Let me know, do any of you roast your vegetables? I find them delicious. Sometimes I will make a big sheet pan with all kinds of vegetables, from red onions to red pepper to broccoli, to all kinds of peppers, actually, and onions. And I will toss them with olive oil and a sprinkle of little kosher salt at about 375, 400 for about 20 minutes. And these vegetables caramelize and they are delicious. Sometimes I'll sprinkle oregano and it is just yummy. So I think anybody would love if you brought roasted vegetables. I think that'd be delicious. If the weather is warm, grill some vegetables and then bring them, and you can reheat them when you get to somebody's house if you need to. Veggies, veggies, veggies. If you know they're going to have something, maybe you bring a crudité platter or you bring a fruit platter. I've said this before that I love. My cousins are unbelievable. They really don't know how much I really appreciate it. Is that for me, I have so much going on that to make a fruit platter is labor intense. And my group always brings me a fresh fruit platter because everybody will enjoy it. And it's just something that I just don't, if it can be taken off my to-do list, that makes it a lot easier for me. And it gives me great comfort to know we're going to have yummy, yummy fruit. So let me know what you have your guests bring. Definitely lighten up your recipes if you can. Cut back on the sugar, cut back on the salt. Hi, Richard, how are you? You have Thanksgiving with an Italian family. Yum. And they insist on filling my plate with everything. I don't want to hurt their feelings, and to tell the truth, the food is always delicious. So, Richard, just say to them, I just decide what is it that you have to have and what is it that you don't. Take 2 plates, put the extra stuff that you're not going to eat on another plate and put it someplace else. Because I know, with just very typical. Let me know if it's the same in your family, that food is love and they made it with love and they want to show you their love. And this is how they do it. So let me know what you have at your house for Thanksgiving, because maybe it'll be a little different. Let me know if you're having meatballs, or if you're having meatballs and turkey, or if you're having all kinds of courses. Because I know a lot of people tell me that in their homes that they have both Italian dishes as well as the traditional turkey and stuffing. So let me know if you have that and where you live, because I think we're going to come. That sounds it sounds delicious. But maybe you bring something to this house that you know that they're going to love, but at least something that you know will help you to stay on track. Something with vegetables, maybe fresh fruit, and maybe you can lighten things up. Definitely make it, when you're looking at a recipe, I use maybe half the salt, maybe even less, because you can always add salt if you need to, but once a dish is too salty, it's totally ruined. I think many of these recipes just way too much salt. Hi, Richard. It's so true. It's all about that food is love. I know. I totally know. Same thing in my house, Richard. This is a universal thing, I think. But it doesn't mean that people also want you to be healthy and they don't want you to feel ill. I always say, what should food do for you? And think about, what should food give you? And let me know, write that in. So I'll let you know if you're hitting all the notes. What should food do for you? And anybody who's listening, let me know what you think. How would you answer that? What should food be giving you? What should it be doing for you? And I'll be looking for your answers as I keep going. But lighten up some dishes. Use a fat-free chicken broth instead of a whole fat chicken broth to make turkey. Use less sugar or use a sugar substitute. Definitely less salt. Instead of butter, use a fruit puree and applesauce, or use oils, and definitely oils instead of butter. A fat-free cream instead of whole fat cream. You can use fat-free half and half. I love the the Fayet instead of sour cream. These make huge differences, these changes. If you're used to a green bean casserole, why not modern it up by just having sauteed string beans? I tell you, one of my favorite ways to make string beans is I take some olive oil and I saute some shallots till right before they're starting to turn dark brown. I throw in the string beans and a little kosher salt and maybe some garlic, and I'm good. And it's beyond delicious. You can take a baked potato, make it a baked potato, or you can take a baked potato and make it a Hasselback potato by cutting not all the way through, but almost all the way through in thin lines, putting a little olive oil, some fresh garlic in that oven for about an hour. Leave it alone. That you can baste every once in a while, but it'll be fine and it'll be gorgeous. It'll open up like a accordion and it'll be crisp and it'll be delicious. You also could take some little creamer potatoes and boil them for about 10 minutes, and then put them in the oven to dry out. Smash them a little bit, and it'll get crispy, and it'd be yummy. Same thing for a sweet potato. Just bake your sweet potato, or you could make sweet potato slices. Toss it with olive oil, maybe a little kosher salt, and put it in the oven to crisp up. Yummy, yummy. Oh, I'm so glad, Stuart, that this is sounding good to you. Because these are things that you also might decide that you want both a sweet potato and a white potato. This is a carbohydrate, fat-laden meal. Let me ask you this. What do you think? How many calories do you think the average American is consuming on Thanksgiving, just at the meal? Or perhaps let me know what you think for the day. This might shock you. It's pretty incredible. Hi, Rosemary. One tip I heard was to sit on your hands after each bite so you'd slower. I totally love that. So have something, a shirt tucked in or belted, and sit on your hands. I love that. Also, you can also take a sip of water or a low-calorie drink to really slow you down. We tend to confuse hunger and thirst. So make sure you're drinking. It will help to fill you up. It'll flush out the fiber, but it'll also help for you to recognize whether or not you're really hungry or you're thirsty. And it will definitely, just like sitting on your hands, it will keep you busy, which is just what you want to do. Maybe even two hands on a glass of water. So that's a great tip, Rosemary. I totally love it. And when you're eating, make sure you're really present, that you're eating just like a chef would, that you're taking the time to savor the taste, the flavor, the texture of this food. People, they do all these studies around food. Those who chew 0 to 10 times eat more calories than those who chew 10 or more. So chew at least 10 to 20 times. And notice, is your first chew different than the 10th chew or the 12th? So go really slowly and really enjoy your food, and start to notice the differences between the first bite and the 10th. You can lighten desserts. A great idea for dessert. Let me know, you guys, if this is something that sounds good for you. And I'm looking to see if you can guess the calories that people are consuming. But you could take some chocolate and melt some chocolate in a bowl in the microwave. Put it in for about a minute. Stir it. If it's not melted, put it in 30-second intervals, because you don't want to burn it. And then add a little bit more chocolate of just not melted chocolate to that melted chocolate, and it will temper the chocolate, which means that chocolate will have a shiny consistency and will work better. I would take a balloon and blow it up so it's about this size, and I would dip the balloon in that tempered chocolate and let it sit on a piece of parchment paper or wax paper. And when it's dry, pop the balloon. Now you have a chocolate cup. I would take Enlighten ice cream or Breyer's cookies and cream ice cream, the low fat, and fill it and have everybody do their own toppings. I mean, how fun is that? If I have a fruit platter, they could definitely put some fresh fruit on that. Would that not be such a treat for Thanksgiving? Have some chopped nuts, whatever anybody wants. The aerosol whipped cream actually fits the bill, and it's great. This Enlighten and the Breyer's ice cream, I think they taste delicious. Let me know if any of you have tried that, either one of them. I think that would be delicious. The other thing I always love to do, which I think is such a fun treat, is if you have a blender or a food processor, take it out and make milkshakes with everybody with the Enlighten and milk and a little I don't measure often, so just a little bit of vanilla extract, and it will whirl up, and people could have milkshakes. How fun is that? I think that would be delicious. Let me know if that's something that sounds good to you. The average person, just so you know, is consuming 5,000 calories in the course of Thanksgiving Day. Generally about 3,000 at the Thanksgiving meal, and then between drinks and dessert and whatever they're having during the rest of the day, it generally will come to about 5,000 calories. The 3,000 calories is the equivalent of about 13 Krispy Kreme donuts, just to give you perspective. For those of you who know me, I'm a visual learner. I've got to see it in order to get it. I hope if that gives you a visual, is that incredible or what? So think about that as you're trying to think, would I eat that much? Well, you may not realize that, yes, you are. A piece of pecan pie is about 500 calories. You add a scoop of vanilla ice cream. I don't want to ruin everybody's Thanksgiving, for about 150. And you can see that just that dessert got you to about 650. Now, if you were having multiple desserts, I know that there have been times at my house that they've gone from pecan pie to apple pie to cheesecake. And so you can only imagine. Another fun 2,300 calories. Easy to do. It's incredible. Think about the stuffing and think about the sides. I will tell you what's the calories in some of these things, and let me know if you're having any of these things at your house. If you have a cup of mashed potatoes, it's about 237 calories. If you have green bean casserole, it's 227, just for a third of a cup. And most people aren't having a third of a cup. They're having much more than that. If you had a teeny 3-by-3-inch square of cornbread, that's an extra 200 calories. And your glass of wine will get you about 125. Your candied sweet potato is going to be close to 2,000, and about a half a cup of stuffing, which is about the size of an ice cream scoop, will get you close to 200. So, and this is not to mention the sodium or anything else. So be mindful of this stuff, because it's going to totally add up fast. If you're having, I'm just trying to think, right, some people have meat as well as as well as turkey at their meal, and you're going to add, you could add another close to 400 calories with just that couple of slices of a roast. Cranberry sauce is about 209 calories for half a cup. Is this incredible? So you don't realize that this is all adding up. Um, Watch these things. If you were to have coconut cream pie, that's about 430, and if you add about 267 calories worth of ice cream, you can see where we're going here. So be mindful of this stuff. But another great thing is to have, you could have for appetizers, you could do crostinis. So you could take sourdough bread sliced at an angle, put a little olive oil on it, or put it in the toaster oven or your oven for just about 5 minutes at 350 till it crisps up. I take a clove of garlic, cut it in half, and the toast, the points in that crostini, that bread, will act like a grater, and I grate garlic over it. You could take some Brussels sprouts, if you like Brussels sprouts, and slice them thin, roast them in the oven, and take that Laughing Cow garlic and herb cheese and mash it together with a fork. Take a couple of those wedges and mash it together with a fork. So you've got the spread, and spread it over that bread, and then put the Brussels sprouts on top and drizzle a little balsamic vinegar. And I think that would be delicious. What do you think? So let me know. That'd be a great appetizer that you could have. Could also be a side dish. This is a time for things that you don't normally make. And I think that would be totally delicious. You could also take that Laughing Cow cheese and smush it together to roll it into a ball and roll it into pomegranate seeds. Be beautiful. Or some nuts, and that would be delicious too. So there are many things that you can do that would be delicious, heart healthy, yummy, and that places. So decide, where is it that you can lighten your calories? Where is it so that you can make some substitutions that won't sacrifice taste or or enjoyment in any way? The three notes that food should hit is it should give you nourishment. It should give you pleasure and joy. You should love your food. And also, we tend to eat in social situations. Now, when you overeat, when you eat way too much past that point, and you get, oh, then you aren't hitting the notes because you're not getting the joy or the pleasure. You're feeling stuffed and bloated and distended. And that's not at all what your goal is. Your goal is to be able to feel fabulous, to be healthy, to feel light, to know that you can move, be so happy that you're here, that you can breathe. So this is a time to be thankful, to be grateful, to enjoy the food you have, but maybe eat a little less of each one, or which ones that you don't need to have and which ones that you do. Only you can decide. But once you do, once you make that decision of what you want to have and what you don't, then be confident that you made the right choices because you made it, and make sure you enjoy it. This isn't about guilt. This is about being thankful, about rejoicing. Even if your Thanksgiving was a day that you did happen to not stick to your roadmap, it's fine. It's about resiliency. It's not about whether you fall. It's about how quickly you get up. Get up the next day, go for a walk, do some exercises. Exercise at this busy time of year doesn't have to be an hour and a half. It can be quick as long as it's something. So there is apps like the Nike Training Challenge, NTC. It's free. They'll have workouts for you anywhere from 5 minutes to 20 minutes. You can do a 25-minute workout. You can go for a walk. Just move because it's medicine. Take a dose of medicine every day, and that will help you to stay in the right frame of mind. Definitely wear clothes that will be tight-fitting and heighten your awareness. Sit on your hands like Rosemary suggested, and drink some water in between bites. I thought that was a great one. Make sure that you really take time to appreciate this holiday for really what it is. And that's just about the fact that we're here, that we are with family, maybe with friends, or however you want to celebrate it, that you're doing it in just the most wonderful way, that you're taking this time out to pause and say how grateful you are. Think about all the things. We tend to think about things that didn't go right, but what is going right in your life, and what are things that you can be so happy and appreciative for. Take this day to really honor that, to honor you, and to celebrate. I hope you have the most wonderful Thanksgiving. If anybody has any questions, I'll give you a few minutes. Otherwise, I'm going to make sure that I don't go too late for you on a Tuesday night. But I will look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks. I'm going to check and see, make sure that I'm saying that right. But otherwise, should look forward to seeing you. Today is the 12th. So in 2 weeks will be the 26th, which should be fine. Let me know if there's something you want me to do a live stream on, because I'm totally happy to do that. And this was a suggestion from the last live stream of somebody listening in. So I'm so thrilled that you've been joining me. I wish you all a happy, healthy Thanksgiving. I hope your roadmap is realistic and wonderful, and that you enjoy with everyone and you take the time to tell yourself how great you are. So have a great night, everybody. Oh, you're welcome, Boo. I'm hoping this was helpful. Let me know if it was helpful by giving me a thumbs up. Your comments have been so greatly appreciated. As always, I am so thrilled to have you join with me on the live stream. I hope you have a delicious Thanksgiving. I will post, as Rosemary suggested, as she requested, I will definitely post the Faye recipe on the Facebook Dition with the Dietitian page. So you can look for that there. I'll get it up in short time. So have a great night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on the live stream. It's been such a treat to be with you. Have a great night, everybody. Take care.